Capo Daniel.
Good morning, fellow Ambazonians.
Happy Christmas,
Merry Christmas. Today, na the 25th day, na Christmas Day, and I record this podcast for exactly midnight for Ground Zero. So, today, for this episode, I want to welcome all Ambazonia to our daily podcast. We know very well na a program where the governing council use them for deliver revolutionary message for the Ambazonia people at home and abroad. So this one na a program where they bring on the truth, important information, as well as fact-based analysis for help we as we navigate this journey to our freedom. Fellow Ambazonians, today na Christmas Day, na a day of the celebration of the birth of Christ. It's a day of fulfilled promises, the day that God himself fulfilled the promise of his love for mankind by sending his only Son, Jesus Christ, to die for the sin of the world, to deliver victory and hope for the downtrodden, the oppressed, and those with burden, to give hope that in this life full of trials and temptation, full of hard times and disappointment, a world where the strong must take what they have to, and the weak and the poor must suffer what they have to, that there is hope for a different life. For us, the people of Ambazonia, we live in a world where we can only dream of freedom. Over 2 million of our citizens, 30%, have been driven away from our homeland to the lands far away from abroad, to the shores of Libya, to Europe and America, to seek for greener pastures. We could only dream that one day, just like the children of Israel was assembled from Babylon back to their homeland, guided by the few chosen ones, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to deliver justice and homeland for their people, to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Ambazonia have risen up 5 years ago to reclaim its promised homeland and to rebuild the walls of the Ambaz Bay. Today we can only dream and hope for the freedom our parents have once gathered in the conference of Manfe to decide and demand for the independence of the Ambaz Bay, an independence that was denied, an independence that was stolen, a land that was annexed and that have been recolonized by the state of Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, Christmas is also a time of hope, a hope when Jesus Christ was born in the nativity, where the people of Jerusalem were under occupation from the Roman power, where the troops of the Romans walked the streets of Jerusalem, walked the streets where we've seen Jesus Christ walk up to the mountain, where Pontius Pilate reigned and ruled over the land with an iron fist, where the enablers, such as the Pharisees and the Sadducees, will walk up to seek for justice, protection, and authority from Pontius Pilate. We all know that story. Fellow Ambazonians, the people of Ambazonia have seen glimpses of hope, the hope for recognition, the hope to triumph over colonialism and annexations. We have in our streets today, walking in Mbamenda, Ni John Frundi, an outcast that have been barred from our territory, Paul Atangaji, the Moja, and the rest of the sellouts, the traitors that seeks for protections from the Pontius Pilates of our day, the terrorist chief, colonial governor, Lele Afrique and Okala Bilai. They walk on our street, but on these days of hope, a days of fulfilled promises, Ambazonia can only dream of the glimpse that have been rumored by patriots and activists such as Bo Herbert, Professor Carson Anyangwe, and few others that have rumored the hope we all have been looking for. the hope of recognition, not just of our identity as a people of Ambazonia, but our aspiration as a people for an independent homeland, a free country where our people can make their own laws, manage their own life, educate their own children, and become a positive contributor to the national assemblies of the nations in the United Nations. Ambazonia have always upheld the rule of law. Our parents have always been naive to believe in the international rule-based system in the United Nations, even without an army. Today, we have elevated our nation by building a national army. The ADF and the SOCADEF, a well-structured army in Ambazonia, to pull to itself all the various Ambazonian independent groups and forces that have been disappointed with the politics within the day of the IG, to come and stand together to build a national army that will equivalent and elevate our people to the level that we can challenge La République du Cameroon and be finally recognized as a people, a recognition that has been long due. The promise for a free homeland haven't just been an aspiration. It has been things that have been well thought of by Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba and many other Gojidinka, many patriots who for long have walked the corridors for diplomacy for our nations and have seen the lack of a powerful force that can guarantee and substantiate our claim. Today we know that self-defense is the only way for us to be respected as a people and assert our sovereignty and our territorial integrity to be recognized even by La République du Cameroon. As we celebrate this Christmas, even in the trenches of Momo, in the land of Meta, in Lebialem, in Fako, in Bakwere, we must not forget those heroes who have championed our cause, the heroes that declares the independence, that reiterate the independence of Ambazonia on the 31st of January of December 1999 at the dawn of a new millennium, that the millennials who have carried these batons from General Ivor, General Gaba, General Ngoy, the youths of our days, who without any training, and the few that were trained by the ADFs in the forests of Lebialem, like Sheikh Aviwo Meleng, Benedict Kwa, under the guidance of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, have stood the test of time to give Ambazonian people hope that we could only dream of. In the beginning of this struggle, we remember how Cameroon have said that our lawyers are going to frustrate themselves with strike until when they are hungry and they will come back to work. Today, we are proud of the sacrifices of our fallen hero. We want also to pay tribute to General Blood, who lost his life 2 days ago in Bambui when he was ambushed by the colonial forces of La République du Cameroon and his dead body displayed on the streets, just like the French have done to the Bamele case. We continue to see the gifts of Paul Biya Bivondo in the burning down of 2 villages in Ambazonia, Yero in the great state of Bui and Baipanya in the Atlantic state. These are the gifts of Christmas from Paul Biya and the state of Cameroon. While we hope and expect recognition, while we hope and dream for the big announcement and things that have been rumored in social media and in write-ups by prominent Ambazonian activists, we want to thank Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba for delivering unto us, the Ambazonian people, the ADF and the SOCADEF that have championed the nationalist call for the picking up of arms in a responsible manner that can secure command and control and a conduct that befits the people of Ambazonia who supports them. The speech of one of the foreigners, the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, in the United States of America's Congress, says that Christmas shall not be postponed and the Russian army will not stop the Ukrainians from celebrating Christmas, even in darkness. La République du Cameroon and its occupation of Ambazonia will not stop Ambazonians from celebrating Christmas. From all our trenches, from Boyo, Meme, Menchum, Mezam, Manfe, Fako, Lebialem, Ndonga Mantung, and all the rest, we shall celebrate Christmas. And we shall celebrate it with hope for a free amber. God bless you and Merry Christmas to all of you.
Capo Daniel, wish you happy Christmas in advance and then happy New Year in advance.
Capo Daniel, signing off.
Kabi, Bella Franklin, all when I saw wish you a happy Christmas. Sisikwa Yukta Bejulos, we salute you. We wish you happy Christmas in advance. Happy Christmas, we wish you happy Christmas, Bella Franklin, we wish you happy Christmas, Capo Daniel, Capo Daniel, we wish you happy Christmas, we wish you happy Christmas.
Maman côté oui, maman côté moi, maman côté oui, côté si, côté oui, côté doux, côté oui, côté si, côté oui, côté doux, côté oui. Ah maman Wali. Maman côté oui, maman côté con, maman côté oui, maman côté seigneur. Mama koti wina, mama koti win, mama koti sinya, mama koti win, koti sing, koti win, koti do, koti win, koti win, koti do. Ah, mama Wali. Tang sayer kiyo ne koye gara kuti yobuya. Tang sayer kanti yo wiye se yo buya. Mama Walia, Mama Walia, Mama Walia, Mama Walia, Mama Walia. Tang sayer kanti yo wiye se yo buya. Mama Walia, Mama Walia, Mama Walia, Mama Walia. 43, 40 week, 42, 40 week, 44, 40 week, 42, 40 week, 1.